The lawyer cleared his throat like he was about to read a verdict. My ex-husband wouldn't meet my eyes. That's where it starts. Not in 1992. Not in the snow. Here. The last day of business. The neon open sign flickered like a dying pulse. Coffee burned on the warmer because I'd stopped caring an hour ago. The bell over the door rang once. Then again. 3 strangers stepped inside. Well-dressed, calm, wrong for a diner that smelled like grease and endings. 4th followed. Gray suit. Leather briefcase. Eyes sharp enough to cut glass. My ex stood beside me, fingers wrapped around the keys he'd already sold out from under me. I smiled. He thought I was beaten. When we first met, he loved this diner almost as much as he loved me. Or at least he pretended to. We were young, broke, hopeful. I worked the grill. He ran the register. He kissed my neck when no one was looking. We built this place on chipped mugs and stubborn faith. Then came the blizzard. Roads buried. Power lines down. The town sealed in white silence. After closing, a family knocked on the door. A man. A woman. A little girl clutching a red scarf. Their car had died 2 miles back. No rooms. No phones. I didn't hesitate. I never do. I let them sleep in the booths. Gave them soup. Wrapped the girl in my own coat. The man tried to pay me, hands shaking. I told him no. Told him someday he could repay someone else. My husband laughed about it later. Said kindness didn't keep the lights on. That should have been my first warning. Betrayal never arrives all at once. It leaks in. Quiet. Persistent. He started staying late. Then not coming home. Paperwork appeared I'd never seen. He took over the books. Said it was easier. Said I worried too much. I noticed how he flinched when I touched his phone. How the numbers stopped adding up. How my name faded from conversations that used to be ours. Then one night I saw the email. An offer. A developer. A plan to sell the land beneath my feet. Signed by him alone. I didn't scream. I didn't confront him. I poured myself a coffee and memorized everything. Dates. Numbers. Lies. That was the moment I stopped being his wife and became his problem. I played the long game. I let him think he was winning. Let him file for divorce. Let him tell the town his version, how I was tired, how I wanted out, how the diner was dying anyway. Behind the scenes I moved pieces. I found the original deed. Read every clause. Learned who really owned what. Turns out kindness leaves paper trails, if you know where to look. That family from the blizzard never forgot. The man rebuilt his life. Did well. Very well. Bought land. Invested smart. Started a company that knew how to wait. 30 years earlier, I'd signed a temporary shelter affidavit so they could access emergency aid. I never thought about it again. He did. That affidavit included an option clause, partial ownership as repayment. My husband skimmed it, dismissed it as worthless. He didn't count on patience. I called a lawyer, then another. Told no one. Not when the diner started to sink. Not when the bank called. Not when my ex smirked and said he tried to save it. I let him sell the keys. Which brings us back to the bell over the door. The lawyer introduced himself. Then the strangers. The woman smiled first, soft, familiar. The girl, grown now, wrapped a red scarf around her neck. My ex finally looked at me. The lawyer spoke slowly. Explained how the sale was invalid. How the land had majority ownership elsewhere. How the diner wasn't closing, it was changing hands. Then the words I'd waited a decade to hear. You sold what you did not own. The color drained from his face. I watched it happen frame by frame. The new owners announced the diner would reopen. Renovated. Renamed. With me as managing partner. My ex would be sued, for fraud, breach, every quiet theft he thought I'd missed. The town listened. The town watched. No one spoke. I met his eyes then. Calm. Steady. This wasn't anger. This was arithmetic. After they left, I locked the door myself for the last time under the old name. I stood alone, listening to the hum of the lights. The booth still warm from bodies that once needed shelter. Betrayal feels loud when it happens. It looks very small when it's finished. I didn't destroy him. I let him undo himself. Justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it waits in the snow for 30 years, wearing a red scarf, holding a ledger no one else bothered to read. Tomorrow I open the diner again. This time on my terms. Thanks for listening.